What up YouTube, it's Kane, and today on Kane's Way I wanted to share something with you guys. And this is definitely the hardest video that I've ever had to make, and I wanted you guys to get to know me a little bit better. And this video isn't a skit or a parody or a joke. This is just me being open and honest with you guys. This year is all about achieving goals, and this is one huge goal I want to cross off my list. And I know once I get it off my chest, I'm gonna feel a whole lot better, and I can finally be me and feel like I'm accepted for who I am. These aren't tears of sadness, these are tears of joy. So I don't want anyone to think that I'm crying because I'm sad. I'm crying because I'm happy, because I'm finally doing this. I can take this out, it's too hot. So the last year and a half has been a year and a half of discovery, and just finally discovering who I am, and I'm finally becoming proud. I've learned so much about myself. It's like a toddler finally learning how to walk and seeing the world in a new light. And it's an amazing feeling to feel that. That is why today I wanted to tell you all that I'm bisexual. I'm bisexual. You don't understand how good it feels to finally say it out loud that I'm bisexual and to tell you guys. Now I know there's going to be a lot of questions like, how do you know you're bi, or is this your way of coming out gay? It's just transitioning. But I can honestly tell you that I am 100% bisexual. I'm not going to go into full details of how I know that I'm bisexual because the video will go way too long. But I'm going to backtrack a bit and explain a little bit. I didn't hook up with a guy until I was in my early 20s. I did it when I was drunk, and I know, cliche, drunk. But I kind of hid those feelings and suppressed them so much because I thought to myself, does this mean that I'm gay? But I was still dating girls at that point as well, and I was attracted to girls, so it confused me even more. So I kind of just suppressed those feelings, put them in a box, and left them aside. I went overseas again and got really drunk and hooked up with a guy. And then I was so confused being attracted to guys, and I couldn't say that I was gay because it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right to say, hey, I'm gay. Because that attraction, like I was saying, was still to girls as well. So it confused me even more. So I went through a stage of depression where I wasn't dating guys or girls. I was on acne medication as well. So if anyone's been on Roaccutane, they know how strong that stuff is, and it can give you side effects of depression. So that didn't help either. So I hid my feelings for both guys and girls. Once I got off my medication, I started to feel a little bit better, but the feelings for guys were just getting stronger. I was just so confused about who I was that I didn't know what to do anymore. It wasn't until a year and a half ago that I discovered that I was bisexual. I was on the road with one of my mates who's gay, who thought he was bisexual at the start because he was engaged to a female. He was telling me stories on the road as we were on the road for a month, and it made me realize, hang on, bisexual, maybe I'm bi. And me calling myself bi felt right. It didn't feel like it wasn't me, because I would look in the mirror and call myself gay, but it didn't feel right. It didn't feel like it was me still. Then I got home one night and was on YouTube and saw that Connor Franta released a new video, and it was his coming out video. And I watched that and I was crying because I was so happy that he'd found who he was, and I was finally discovering who I was and realizing that I'm bisexual. And I started watching all these coming out videos of being bi, and I could relate to it and understand that bisexual does exist. And I never knew that. I never knew that term bisexual before. So then the next day on the road, I came out to my mate and told him, which was the most hardest thing I've ever had to do, but the perfect person to tell because I could trust him. He'd been through it all and he was so understanding and so great about it. So after telling my gay mate, I thought I'd start telling my other friends, but I wasn't ready to tell my closest friends that were straight. So I started telling my good friends that were gay and lesbian because I knew they would understand. They've been through it. And in the back of my mind, I knew if my parents or my straight friends weren't accepting, at least I had that community behind me. And that was honestly the best thing that I ever did because they helped me transition into telling people. And then I started dating guys because I thought, I've dated girls, let's see what it's like to date guys. So I started doing that, and it was kind of like I was living a secret life because my straight friends and family didn't know. And it was kind of cool at the start because it was like, oh, I'm like a secret agent, I'm living two lives. But then I started seeing a guy, and it was just getting a lot harder to come up with stories, and it was just getting too much. But that didn't really work out and go anywhere. So I decided to go overseas for a few months. As you would wear, I went to LA by myself. And that was one of the best experiences of my life of self-discovery and finding out who I am. Because I felt like I could be me and not hide who I was, because LA is so accepting to that community, whether you're gay, straight, bi, lesbian. They get it. They understand, and you're not judged. You're not questioned about your sexuality. And growing up, I was always questioned if I was gay. I find that if you're questioned if you're gay or being called gay, it actually makes it worse if you're not sure yourself. It's up to that person to come out when they're ready. And if they are or if they're not, it shouldn't be questioned or asked. The interesting thing I found about LA, no one questioned your sexuality. No one asked you if you were gay or straight. No one cared. And here in Australia, people always ask you, are you gay or straight? And I don't know why it needs to be questioned whether you're gay or straight. Who cares? You're just a person. When I was in LA at the start, I would go on dates with guys and girls and I would say that I'm bi, and they would just be like, oh, okay, cool. They don't care. They just like the person for being that person. And I finally felt like I was discovering who I was and being comfortable with who I am, and I didn't have to hide, and that's what I loved about being up there. And when I was in LA, I met someone who made me feel happy and safe and loved. I fell in love with him. We were together the whole time I was up there. We saw each other every day, and I was crazy about him, and I'd never felt like that with anyone before. And then I had to come back, and it was the most hardest thing in my life to say goodbye. And then I got back to Australia and I felt like I had to hide who I was again and not be myself. We did the distance thing, which I didn't want to do, but it just felt so right that we did it anyway. And we'd chat every day, but I still had to hide it from everyone. And I hated the fact that I had to hide who I was and not tell people. So I started telling some straight friends, and it felt so good to get it off my chest. I wanted to tell my family, but I wasn't ready to tell my folks yet. So I just told my sister, which was so hard, but so great because she's been one of the most supportive people that I've had throughout this whole experience. She's been amazing. makes me upset just thinking about it. But she's been fantastic. It didn't work out with him, which I'm still trying to get over now, but that's a whole nother story. But it was just getting to the point where I didn't want to have to hide someone that I love so much from the world. I wanted to share that. And even though we broke up and I still don't know 100% why, I just realized I can love someone that much, whether they're a guy or a girl. I've loved girls, I've been in relationships, but that one just made me feel so special. And telling my sister was the best thing I ever did, because I could just open up to her and tell her everything. And then she was the best support that I had. Telling my parents, which I told my parents in January, which was so hard, but I had my sister there the whole time to help me tell my parents. And my parents were a bit unsure at the start. My mum didn't understand the whole bi thing, and I was freaking out so much telling them. I thought to myself, I've got to move out. So I was kind of like organizing things if I needed to. And my parents said to me, we love you either way. We just don't accept your choices. Now they're kind of getting that it's not a choice, which is good. And we're more open communicating, and I don't have to hide who I am. And I've started not hiding who I am on Facebook and everything like that. But I still haven't told everyone. And I thought this is the best way for me to openly come out and be me. So for all those people I haven't told yet, don't be annoyed at me because I didn't tell you. This is just my way of doing it. And it's not that I don't want to tell you personally. It's just I either don't see you too often, or I didn't feel the need to. There is so much stigma behind being bi that people don't understand. Being bi doesn't mean you're gonna be gay. You can love anyone. Being bi means you can love a guy or a girl. When I say there's a stigma, so many times I've gone on a date with either a guy or a girl, and they're like, no, it's not possible. I struggle these days going on dates with girls because I might find that there's a connection, and then I tell them on like the second or third date, but then they freak out because you've been with a guy. I'm not going to cheat on you with someone else. If I love someone, I love someone. I don't look at anyone else when I'm dating someone. I like you for you, and that's it. So I think there needs to be change with that, because the bi community gets so much shit, it's ridiculous. One of the reasons I want to make this video is to educate people about being bi. I was always scared to make this video because I was always worried if I did make it in the acting or modeling industry that it would ruin my career. I don't want to have to hide who I am just to please other people. You either love me or hate me for who I am. And I'm sick of being questioned about my sexuality. So for all those people that leave questions saying, are you gay, are you straight? Who cares if I'm gay or straight or bi, whatever. This is me and this is who I am, and I'm not changing who I am. I'm bi. There you go. You can stop asking me that question. I just want to be happy and be me. And I just want to say to anyone that's struggling to come out, it does get better. But come out when you're ready. And if you are bisexual, I know it is very confusing, especially liking both guys and girls. Because if you just liked one, it'd be so much simpler. But when it comes to both, it can be very confusing, and bisexuality does exist. And it needs to be acknowledged that it is a thing and not just a phase. So yeah guys, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to thank you guys for listening. I'm sorry if this video is long, and sorry, I'm just cracking my toes because they're sore from sitting here. I've been trying to get this video done all day. I just want you to know as well, there's going to be no changes to Kane's Way. It's going to be exactly the same. It's just that I'm not going to hide who I am. So that's one thing I hated doing on my channel, was using the words they and them when I wanted to use he or she. And that was my way of hiding who I was. and I hated censoring myself. I just wanted to be honest. So from now on, my videos will be honest. If you want me to talk about anything like this again, leave a comment down below and I'll go into more details. But I'm still going to keep some of my private life private, but I'll be honest as much as I possibly can with you guys. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and make sure to follow me on all my social media, and I will see you guys next week. So for now, ciao. Feels so good to get that off my chest.